Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression. I talk about narcissism and schizophrenia, and I've written a book, Life with My Schizophrenic Father. That's my childhood memoir right up here. I talk about my unethical psychologists and how they sexually exploited me and the unethical sexual relationships I had with them. And I've written books all up here on my mantle. The links to all these books and the 3 dozen books that are available on Amazon are down below in the description. You can also support my channel by buying me a cup of coffee, and I want to thank everyone who has contributed. It means very, very, very much to me because I put a lot of effort and hard work into these videos. So I appreciate that contribution from you. The only thing I have to say is I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. And all I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner down below. That way you will be notified each and every time a new video of mine comes out. It's 100% free, so stick around, take a chance, give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media platforms with your friends and your family. I want to hear from you, my subscribers. I care about you. Your thoughts, your opinions matter to me, your struggles, and I always answer everyone back in the comments. Now, today's video is forgiving what you can't forget. It's all about forgiveness. Some people can forgive, some people can't forgive. Me, I'm a mix, okay? There are some people I have forgiven, like my cousin who stole my inheritance when my parents died back to back, and there are some people I have not forgiven. My mother. My mother has been dead for over 20 years, and I have not forgiven her. So, my husband has forgiven me for cheating on him. I have forgiven in some circumstances, and I haven't in other circumstances. But in either case, I have never forgotten this extreme hurt that these people have put me through. And I don't think whether you forgive or not, that's your decision. But you should never forget what people have put you through. You should never forget the hurt. Now, that doesn't mean hold on to it like a grudge, okay? Forgiveness really is saying, you did all this hurt to me. You caused me all this unnecessary pain. You put me through all this trauma. I'm not the same person as I was before you abused me or hurt me or cheated on me, or the trust I gave you, you walked all over that. But what forgiveness is saying is, you can never pay me back for all the pain that you put me through. So I'm telling you that I'm going to erase the debt. Because a person is never going to be able to pay you back for that hurt. Do you think that my cousin could ever pay me back for the pain he put me through? Maybe he could pay me back with the money, because I got a lawyer and I fought him. And I got my $35,000 back. Maybe Dr. James Barberia could pay me back with $80,000 because I got a lawyer and I fought for that. But both my psychologist and my cousin can never pay me back for, for what it did to my body, for the insomnia, for the alcoholism, to wash down all that pain, for the severe anxiety. And also the most number one thing is I never can trust again. So they took away my innocence, and my mother can never pay me back. My cousin can never pay me back for taking away my innocence, my belief in people, my belief in humanity, my belief that people are naturally kind, especially to someone going through a crisis like I was with my parents dying 3 months apart when my cousin stole my inheritance. Like I was going through severe mental illness when I went to my psychologist, and he sexually exploited me. They have stolen my innocence. It's like virginity, okay? It's just like that. When someone steals your innocence and someone steals your trust, it's like they're taking away your virginity. You can never get that back. In other words, you can never go back to that place you were before that person traumatized you. You never can. That person can say they're sorry, and they can say they want to make it up to you as much as, and they can be sincere with that. But let's face it, you're never going to go back to that place you were before they did that to you, right? So forgiveness is just really saying, okay, we'll start with a clean slate. We'll wipe out. It's like bankruptcy, right? When you go bankrupt, they wipe out your debt, all right? So you start with a clean slate. But that doesn't mean that you forget. You never, ever forget, all right? You never forget, whether you forgive or not. And I'm not here to tell you to forgive, because I've been on both sides, all right? I've forgiven, like my cousin, and I have not forgiven my mother. Why? Because my mother's pain goes much, much, much more deeper. She was my mother. She was supposed to be my protector. She was supposed to, and in the years and years of abuse from her were much, much greater than what my cousin did. But it does feel good to forgive someone. Forgiving my cousin has released all that venom, like a snake. It released all that venom, and it feels good. But now that's forgiveness, all right? Forgiveness doesn't mean you ever forget. It also doesn't mean that you reconcile with the person. That because you forgave them, you can go back to having a relationship with them. I forgave my cousin. I even went down to prison. I wrote it in one of my books, maybe a couple of my books, and I visited him. But I did not reconcile with him. In other words, I didn't start up a relationship with him. So you don't have to reconcile because you forgive someone. It means that if a wife cheated on her husband, a husband can forgive his wife, can get along beautiful for the sake of their children, but he can also divorce his wife and not reconcile the marriage. That's his choice. My husband chose to reconcile the marriage and stay in it and work on it. And that led to restoration, the third step in the forgiveness process. That doesn't always happen, all right? You can forgive. It doesn't mean that you reconcile with the person. If you do reconcile with a person, then the third stage is restoration, trying to restore the relationship after the trust had been broken. Can you restore a relationship after the trust has been broken? In my opinion, everyone has different opinions. Some people will say, no, you can never restore it once the trust has been broken. Some people will say, yes, that is even better, the relationship after the trust has been restored. So, I say this: once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. So if you hurt me, you betrayed my trust, or you did something that traumatized me in such a way, and I forgive you, and then I go on to reconcile with you, which I don't have to, because reconciliation is not part of forgiveness, okay? Forgetting is not part of forgiveness. Forgiveness is just wiping the debt clean, saying, okay, you don't owe me anything. I forgive you for what you've done. That's what it is. Because a person can never pay you back for the harm that they did to you. They can never do it. But you don't have to reconcile with them. And you should never forget in any case. Never ever forget anything. Because if you forget, you're doomed to repeat it, right? How do we repeat history? Because we forget what happened. We forget the horrible traumas of the past, and that's why you're doomed to repeat it. Because you have to always remember. Always remember. It doesn't mean you hold on to a grudge and eat yourself up alive. It just means that, it's stored. You know what I mean? It's stored in your memory like a computer. It's stored in your memory. But if you do choose to reconcile, okay, then that person has to work long and hard. It's a long, hard, slow process to restore the relationship. It doesn't always work, but that person has to be willing to do whatever it takes to get your trust back, to restore. It works in some cases. It worked with me and my husband. It doesn't work in all the cases. Not everyone can restore a damaged relationship. They can forgive, They can say, okay, I forgive you. But they can also, like in the case of a couple, the husband can say, okay, if the wife cheated, I forgive you, but I'm not going to restore this relationship. I don't trust you. I don't want to restore it. I want to, divorce and move on. But we can still be friendly for the children's sake, but we don't have to go back to the old relationship. You don't have to. It's your choice. This is wonderful. What's wonderful about being humans is we all have choices, and we all have to live with those choices. So it's up to you whether you want to work on restoring. And it's not just up to you, it's up to the other person. Do they want to work on building the trust back up? Because if they don't want to put the work into it, then there's nothing to restore, right? If they just say, I'm sorry, and then they're going to do the same thing again. Remember what I said. Once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. So if the husband decided, okay, I forgive you, I'm not going to forget what happened, but you say you're sorry, you're sincere about it, you're going to work really hard to be faithful, not to stray again, not to cheat, work on this marriage, and then, the wife puts in the effort, and then again, after a period of time, where everything is blissful and happy, then the wife goes out and cheats again, or the husband does. It could be the husband that the wife forgave, and, he says he's sorry and he wants to work on the relationship. I'm not trying to be sexist and use one, And then that person goes out and cheats again. Twice, shame on me. Meaning that you allow that person to do it to you twice. So if that happens, then that's the nail in the coffin. That's the nail in the coffin that, they say once a cheater, always a cheater. What do I think? I think that's true from personal experience, okay? Other people might not think that, but yeah, I think that's true. Why do I think that's true? Because the person did it. If the person does something, then they're capable of doing it. Just like murder. If someone murders someone, then they're capable of murder. If they can do it once, they can do it again. If they were not capable of cheating, like my husband never cheated on me, they would never do it in the first place. Do you see what I'm getting at? So if someone does something once, whatever that is, they are certainly capable of doing it again. And so, yes, I do believe once a cheat, always a cheat. Yes, they showed that they're capable of doing it. All right? They already showed you that they're capable. So of course, that goes with anything. Just like if a man hit a woman, okay, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. Please forgive me. I'm going to counseling, whatever, yada yada yada." But the man was capable of raising a hand and hitting a woman. He was capable of doing that. He showed you he was. And if you want to put your trust in that, I would never do that. That once is enough for me, right? If a man ever did that to me, once would be enough. Because they show you that they're capable of doing that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. My husband has never cheated because my husband is incapable of cheating, all right? But I'm not here to pass judgment on whether you forgive someone or not, or you want to reconcile with them or not, or whether you want to work on restoration, which is a long, slow, hard process. You probably might need years of therapy, of couples counseling if you're going to reconcile. And I'm not a big fan of therapy, and a lot of times the therapist will take one side or the other, or pit one spouse against the next spouse. Therapy often leads to making the situation worse, but not always. It's just because I've had I was dealt a very bad hand with all these therapists that I went to. But someone else might have a great experience. You just can't go by what I say because I had bad experiences, plural. But so if anything, what I want you to take away from this video is, number one, forgiveness is a choice. It's up to you. You don't have to forgive, but you will feel better if you do forgive. All right? You will feel better. You won't be carrying so much hate and hurt and trauma inside your body if you do forgive. But you don't have to. It's your choice. Number two, forgiveness is never about forgetting, ever. Don't ever forget what that person did. It's just like a computer. You store it in your memory. It doesn't mean it's always there, it's just stored in memory. Number three, that you don't have to, reconcile with the person. You can end the relationship. You can forgive and say, I forgive you. The slate is clean, but I'm not going to forget what happened. But I do not wish to restore the relationship. Or number four, you can you can reconcile and work on the restoration. Work on building up that trust again. Personally, I don't think you can ever get it back to the way it was before. It was broken. So these are all choices that you have to make. The choices that I made is, like I told you, I forgave my cousin, but I did not try to restore any relationship with him. I did visit him in prison. I sent him some letters, and he sent me some letters, and that was about the end of it. We never restored the relationship. Have I ever forgiven with my husband? He has forgiven me, and he has, reconciled with me, and he has restored the relationship. So he's done all three: forgiveness, restoration, reconciliation, and restoration. He's done all three. But like I said, these are very hard choices that you have to make, and only you alone can make them. But the one thing that remains is we never forget. We never forget, so we're not doomed to repeat the past because we never forget. I hope this video has helped you a little bit, and you can let me know how you feel about, have you forgave someone and reconciled with that person who hurt you and broke your trust and traumatized you? And if you have reconciled, how is the restoration? Did you work it out? Was the relationship better? Let me know. I'm dying to find out from your experiences. This is how we grow and learn from one another. And in my channel. I decided to bring things upstairs. This is my living room. This is my fireplace. So I just tried a change of scenery instead of being downstairs in the basement. Let me know what you think. Do you like it better upstairs by the fireplace, or do you like it better downstairs in the basement? Maybe I'll put that in one of my questions. I might do that, yeah, because I like to ask you guys, because what you guys want is very important to me. All right, till next time, take care. So long.